Hello YouTubers, it's me again. It must seem as though I'm a raving lunatic. I seem to be doing more and more videos. That's because I've got a lot to say, and so is my wife. But this one's very short, and it's basically a promise. It's a promise to a particular individual that I am itching to catch up with. And it's not to be to throw abuse at him. Quite the opposite. I'm not going to do that. But it's to correct him. And now that I have the evidence that I was looking for, which I found a long time ago, it's only now that I'm actually starting to think far more confidently that this individual needs to be exposed. And if I see him street witnessing again in our town, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, if I find out where he is, or I see that he's out there somewhere knocking on a door, I will pull over my vehicle, because I have seen him around, and I will expose him. Quick resume on the history of what I'm actually on about here. No, he's not a normal Jehovah's Witness. He's a circuit overseer, and of course they visit every few months, and they've this particular one, strange. It was about in fact he's probably due to actually move on, more's the pity. But this particular individual was in our Kingdom Hall, and I was already doing a lot of secret study by then. But I was very receptive to everything that this particular individual was saying while I was in the Kingdom Hall. And all of a sudden, in his address to the congregation, he changed tack. He just completely started, he just suddenly stopped and suddenly said, "Does anybody within this congregation have any old copies of the watchtower, going back into the 1800s maybe? Anybody have any very old copies of watchtowers?" Of course everybody just sat there looking at each other and said, "No, okay, just thought I'd ask." Interesting. Now that came out of the blue. That was completely out of context with what he was actually talking about. And then in his next breath, nobody had actually asked him any questions, because you're not allowed to anyway, you just sit there listening, and he suddenly changed tack again. And within the next breath he then said, 1975, Franz did not say that the end of the world was going to happen in 1975. He didn't say that. It's a misconception. Everybody sat there looking at each other, a little bit confused as to why he's bringing this up. He said, "I need to clear that up." He said that he's never said that, and there's nothing in the publications to suggest that we said as an organisation that the end of the world was coming at that time. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Of course, I'd already been reading and doing some research, and I was just actually in the process of going through some of the stuff that I'd found on the 1975 failed prophecy. And at that time, I went back that evening, and by that weekend I'd found 11 publications, Watchtower and Awakes and One Kingdom Ministry, from 68 and 69 in particular, that showed very clearly that they were talking about 1975 being the end of the bloody world. They really were. And on top of that, Google, you can actually listen to Franz, and I quoted it, I've just listened to it again. "We know we are near something, but we're not saying what." Everybody starts cheering and clapping. But then also he then says, September sundown, September the 5th, the lunar year, 1975 ends. Then he goes on to say it again, that it's going to end, and I quote, sundown, September the 5th, 1975. He says it twice that I can see or hear in that particular video. So, Mr. Circuit Overseer, I'm not going to mention your name because we do love you, and I don't want to do this out of spite, but when I do see you on a door, I will wait for you patiently. I won't disrupt you at the door. But if I see you street witnessing like I have done in the past, I will be stopping my vehicle, and I promise you this, I will be talking to you face to face, because you lied to me. You lied to my wife. You lied to my children. You lied to us. You lied to that congregation. And I cannot stand hypocrisy of that kind. And I'm going to tell you that and refer you to Google, refer you to your own Watchtower and Awakes. Not stuff that's apostate, your own material. And you need to be told this. You cannot keep getting away with blindly telling lies and expecting people to just swallow it. Where the hell are you coming from? Do you think we're that stupid? Do you think this is not going to come back on you? Why didn't you just speak the truth and be honest? I tell you, just a small video. Say lots of prayers and keep praying for forgiveness. And all those that want to come out, please just wake up. Wake up. You're wasting your lives in this. This is not the true Christian message, and you know that. Deuteronomy 18, false prophecies. Read it, please. Let's move on.